All right. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. How are we doing on this wonderful Wednesday? Uh I walked in the door from work 13 minutes ago. Weather, some changes at work. I mean, it's been interesting. It's been interesting. Wasn't able to go live yesterday because I got back so late. I ended up having to do some running around before I was able to lay down. Um, just work is just one of those things right now. Just is one of those things right now. Um, we've got some. I'm going to go over a couple different things. The NFL draft process is slowly starting. The problem is people are making they're just making assumptions right now. We don't know who's coming out for sure, except for those that are seniors and have no more eligibility. Those are the only ones we know are not coming out. And now we've got these mock drafts that are starting to show up. And it's too much. It's artificial ideas that are making this up. Because the reality is, Fernando Mendoza still is only a junior. There's, I mean, that's the simple facts. He's only a junior. He's now started 2 years at Cal, 1 year at IU. He does not have to come out whatsoever. Zero. Dante Moore for Oregon does not look like an NFL quarterback right now. He needs another year. Arch Manning needs another year. Ty Simpson needs another year. So all these artificial, drafts. I mean, and I love Yates. I really do. His was the one that popped up. I know his bosses told him, time to get one out, blah, 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 blah. These players don't have to come out. That's the thing. They don't even have to come out yet, and there's no guarantee they will. NIL. Fernando Mendoza can make $3.5 million next year as quarterback for Indiana, while defining in a pro-style offense his skills for the next level. A smart kid may stay in school. Do I want him to? The Hoosier inside of me really wants him to. I do. I really want Mendoza to stay. Next year's schedule is definitely tougher. And I would love to have Fernando Mendoza for next year and do this again and make the college football playoff next year again. No doubt about that. But just watching from a football standpoint, you can't tell me with a straight face that another year in that offensive system, giving him 4 years of starting in college, would be bad for Fernando Mendoza. Dante Moore is not ready at all to come out. He started for 1 year at Oregon. Let him start another year. Make $3.5 million a year. It's just, I hope the thought and the process now for prospects coming out of the NFL has changed. You used to want to get to the NFL because that's where the money was. That's not the case anymore. Not at all. There's money, $3.5 million for a college student. That's what's sitting there in front of Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. It's that simple. Listen. I don't know what the draft order is yet either. Right now, every mock draft is off the current draft order. The Giants play the Commanders this week. If the Giants win, they're no longer the number one pick. I mean, it's a reality of how this is all playing out right now. Like his first draft, he's got Jeremiah Love going 14th to the Kansas City Chiefs. No way he makes it that low. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to end up being 14th either. But the way that this is all playing out, I don't let teams do what they need to do. Sam Leavitt, quarterback for Arizona State, was the starter for the last 2 years. He transferred from Michigan State to Arizona State. He was in the college football playoff last year. He had a foot injury this year. And he is entering the transfer portal right now. And I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move. There are teams that will need a quarterback, and I think Sam Leavitt could easily strengthen his draft stock, and relatively quickly. So I like the move from Sam Leavitt to transfer from Arizona State. They're younger, and that's kind of the way that Dillingham is going. And then that's fine. He made the switch on his team. No big issue. No big issue. But some of these things, so I was looking through a lot of the head coaching things. There is so much head coach movement. It's wild. It's wild. So I'm going to go down the list that we have that I have sitting in front of me for the main colleges. I know South Florida is hiring offensive coordinator Brian Hartline from Ohio State after they get through the college football playoff. I want to talk about Penn State first. Penn State, after getting basically out, Cignetti got more money from IU, not going anywhere. Kalen DeBoer didn't get more money from Alabama, but he turned them down. The way that Penn State's search went, how it went, looked really bad on the college, on the university. But I like Matt Campbell for Penn State. Now, I don't think, be very clear, I don't think the success of Penn State will even be as much as James Franklin right now. Matt Campbell has shown at Iowa State that he can get a lot out of the players. So did James Franklin. But Iowa still recruited with them. And I don't think Matt Campbell can out-recruit Ryan Day. And I don't think he can out-recruit James Franklin, who is now in Virginia Tech. That's a big part of this. Virginia Tech is back into the recruiting mix on the East Coast. and will be huge. And players keep coming over from Penn State. I said that was going to happen. Penn State took forever to get a coach. You can't blame the players. Penn State looks bad in all of this. It's that simple. But if you're not going to get Kalen DeBoer, if you're not going to get Cignetti, there's the B plus, A minus tier that you're looking at here. I like the Matt Campbell fit. I think they go 9-3 consistently. They want to win championships. Well, this is not the coach I believe that you're going to win championships with. The Big Ten is really competitive. It's that simple. And I think it was a really good fit, but I think it's going to be an uphill battle. Now, the guy that's taking his place at Iowa State, Washington State hires Jimmy Rogers. Washington State's Jimmy Rogers gets hired. The reality is this was kind of a middle-of-the-road hire. He's really, really young. Really, really young. He's only 38 years old. And it's a big ask. This is a big ask. Because the Big 12 is very competitive. I said at the beginning of the year, it is one of the most competitive divisions, top to bottom. Anybody could beat anybody. It was going to be a really, really weird conference. And it did end up being a very, very interesting conference. I think it's a big ask, but let's see what he can do. Let's see what Jimmy Rogers can do as he works into everything. That's kind of how I see this playing out. Now, let's go to California. Tosh Lupoy comes from the Nick Saban and Dan Lanning tree. 44 years old, well connected. I like this hire for Cal. He's an alum. He knows what Cal is. The challenges will not be that big to overcome for him. The expectation for the football program, honestly, is a lot lower than what he would like. I have no doubt about that. But it does give him a lot of leeway as he starts trying to build the California Golden Bears back up. And they're in the ACC. They can easily be built quickly. Easily. So, I like that hire. A lot. Kansas State, their coach retired. So they brought back somebody who had been there. Colin Klein. I like this. I really do. I really like this hire. I think this is a smart hire for Kansas State. It keeps the tradition in Kansas State, somebody that understands the old Bill Snyder, Kansas State, what they're trying to do, and he understands the Big 12 right now. Okay? I believe Kansas State can turn around very quickly in the Big 12. It's so even. You can easily make a case that Colin Klein gives Kansas State an offensive edge that you're going to see on the field next year, and it could easily be a 10-2 team playing for the Big 10 championship, or Big 12 championship, excuse me. So I do like that. I do like that hire. Kansas State, Colin Klein. All right, the Kentucky Wildcats let go of Mark Stoops. Who did they bring in? They bring in Will Stein, former offensive coordinator for the Oregon Ducks. Why do I like this hire? Well, it's really, really simple. Really simple. It's an offensive guy going to the SEC where genius offensive play calling can end up winning you games and making the difference. I do believe that the Dan Lanning connection will help him. Dan Lanning, I'm sure, can suggest some people for him to bring in on his staff, and I believe he will build a staff that can compete. I do not know where the NIL money is for Kentucky. They're a basketball school. Give me a break. Give me a break. They're a basketball school. But I will say, if you're going to be creative in offense, you can get some playmakers. You can easily get some playmakers. Now, my second favorite hire. Michigan State hires Pat Fitzgerald. This was an amazing hire. Everybody is like, how do you expect a guy that hasn't coached for a while to fare so well? Well, really simple. Fitzgerald's been here. He did this before NIL was there. Michigan State has some money. They just they haven't had any legitimacy behind the money. I fully believe 100% that he can turn around Michigan State pretty quickly. That he can get Michigan State back to an 8-4, 9-3 school. Now, that doesn't work as well with the fact of, with how everything else is playing out because we got so many teams now in the Big Ten. One loss is still pushing it. But I do like that hire. I really do. I really do. Now, I want to talk something that's starting to heat up, and it's heating up because of Notre Dame. I want to be very clear. Notre Dame, I believe, is the reason for this story. Notre Dame is throwing a fit about the college football playoff. You screwed up. You're not part of a conference. Deal with it. You want to be selfish with all the money. That's your right, but it's everybody else's right to go, we protect our conferences first. You're an independent. There's only two of you. It's UConn and you. And the two biggest games you played, you lost. And your strength of schedule kind of sucked. And you just keep cherry picking. You played only 3 road games. 3 actual road games. That's how you set them up. 3 actual road games. So that you don't actually have to face the legitimate atmosphere of another stadium. Notre Dame has been cheating around this for decades. And people are finally waking up because they're throwing a temper tantrum. Well, they're throwing a temper tantrum. Now NFL teams are really looking to go after Marcus Freeman. I said last year I thought Freeman could work with the Bears. I thought that them being interested in Freeman was a very smart move. I will say it again. If Miami wanted to get Marcus Freeman, I would fully replace Mike McDaniel with Marcus Freeman in a heartbeat. 100%. If the Bengals fired Zach Taylor and hired Marcus Freeman, he will compete in the AFC North. He can compete in Arizona. He won't be afraid of Mike McDonald, Shanahan, or McVay if Arizona were to hire him. I like Marcus Freeman as an NFL head coach. I really do. And now Notre Dame is trying to push to keep Freeman because the NFL has so much interest. But the reality is that Notre Dame being a bunch of babies and throwing temper tantrums, I think is even hurting them in the eyes of their own coach. The AD doing this and that, and the Big 12 AD came out straight up and said, listen, what Notre Dame's doing is egregious. The Big 12 fined the two teams that ignored or declined bowl bids due to head coaching changes and everything else and not wanting to embarrass their kids, which you get, but they set the precedent that, hey, if you do that and we're not going to get the revenue from that bowl game, you're going to get fined. That's okay. That's okay. The reality is there's no repercussions for Notre Dame. Except for on those kids. The last time those kids are going to be on a field now is against Stanford. Against a team that mattered very little. When you could go play a bowl game. And if it's your last time playing football, it could be at a bowl game where there's a legitimate trophy for you to win regardless of where you thought you were going to be. The kids are losing out. From everything that I have read and from what I've heard, they kind of left it up to the team. Well, the kids got emotional. You don't leave it up to the kids. They feel gypped. They feel ripped off. This is life. The school you go to is the one that built this bed that you're lying in. They don't want to join a conference. They want all of the benefits of a conference, but not having to share any of their precious money, precious gold. No, the respect for the Irish in my mind is dropped. I love Marcus Freeman. What he has done with Notre Dame is outstanding. But as a university in and of itself, this move proves that only their money matters to them. Only their money matters. And it's just garbage. It really is. It's just garbage. Go play the bowl game. Go do something for the kids. The kids don't know that they don't want that last game being Stanford. Go let them play against LSU. Go let them play against Iowa. Go let them play against, go let them play against BYU in a bowl game. That'd be great. But instead, they're going to stay home and be petty. And I feel bad for the kids. I really do. I feel bad for the kids. All right. Elsewhere in sports. Here we go. Here we go. The Dodgers, shocker. Edwin Diaz, the ex-Mets closer who is absolute stud, signs with the Dodgers. Signs with the Dodgers. Jeez. Congratulations, Edwin Diaz. You're now on the Dodgers. Kyle Schwarber did not end up leaving the Phillies. He got a 5-year, $150 million deal. Kyle Finnegan got a 2-year deal from the Detroit Tigers. The White Sox won the draft lottery. Will pick first in the 2026 MLB draft. Not a lot. Not a lot. So Major League Baseball's kind of got a slow off season. It doesn't move nearly as fast. NFL, you've got that rapid, lightning quick first 2 days, 3 days, and then everything kind of tapers off. Well, yeah. Yeah, that is exactly what it looks like right now. It's just, it hasn't gotten to the lightning spot whatsoever, and I'm waiting for it to actually get exciting, and it just hasn't happened. So baseball right now, still dead. Still dead. We'll figure it out later. All right. However, hockey is alive and well. And last night, the 2 games to close out the night. The Buffalo Sabres and the Edmonton Oilers went to overtime, where the Sabres beat the Oilers 4-3. Then, in Nashville, the Predators and the Avalanche went to overtime. Guess what? It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. They had to go to a shootout. Nashville beats the Avalanche. What's going on with Colorado? They've lost 2 times in the last 2 weeks. Oh my goodness, are they crumbling? No, they're not. Colorado Avalanche are still the best team in hockey. They're just damn good. It's that simple. But the Predators did get a big win last night, beating them 4-3. The Stars beat the Jets 4-3. The Boston Bruins knocked off the St. Louis Blues 5-2. The Carolina Hurricanes beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1. The Ducks, in a shootout as well, beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-3. The Philadelphia Flyers beat the Sharks 4-1. And the New York Islanders beat the Vegas Knights 5-4. You guessed it, in a shootout. I freaking love hockey. I love hockey. You can't actually bet on hockey to go into overtime. Like, it happens so often, Vegas doesn't even want to put that on there that's going to go to overtime. I would do it for every game. Every day I'd win at least one. Every day I'd win one. I want to do it. I really want to do it. All right, the New Jersey Devils beat the Ottawa Senators 4-3, and the Tampa Bay Lightning knocked off the Montreal Canadiens 6-1. We had NBA Cup action last night. I did get both of these correct last night. I picked Orlando to win on the money line, and then I picked the Knicks and Raptors to be below the over-under point total. The Orlando Magic beat the Heat behind Desmond Bane's 37 points, 117-108. The Knicks then beat the Raptors 117-101. The 2 games that we have tonight. The Phoenix Suns against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Los Angeles Lakers against the San Antonio Spurs. Those are the 2 games for tonight. I've got the Thunder and I've got the Lakers. I just don't think the Spurs can compete right now without Wemby. It's really all it comes down to. I just don't think they can compete without Wemby. It's that simple. All right. 15 minutes left. Let's get to the NFL. I want to open up the NFL with an apology. I apologize to every diehard, multiple decade, hard-nosed, sweat, blood, teared fan of the Indianapolis Colts. I want to apologize for the organization making a mockery of you by signing a 44-year-old quarterback who is currently eligible and on the ballot for the Hall of Fame. The excuse that was given, I guess, reasoning, is because he was a high school football coach. He talks to Shane Steichen weekly, and he runs a similar offense. In high school? Okay, college you could convince me of a little bit. In high school? You're not playing against people that are in the NFL in high school. The speed is completely different. The margin for error is huge in high school. And the Colts needing to at least get 2 wins out of these last 4 games decided that you, the fan, don't matter at all. Signed a 44-year-old quarterback coming out of retirement, has not played football in 5 years. And you're going to try to tell me this is not Joe Flacco with the Browns. He had played the previous season. This is a quarterback that hasn't had to throw the ball, read a defense in 5 years. He was a statue 5 years ago. All these quarterbacks that are on other teams' practice squads that you could bring in, that you could be like, all right, can he create a spark? Can we do something with him? All these quarterbacks that are on the free agent list that are younger, that can move like Daniel Jones, just give us a little bit of movement. Somebody had said it. 40% of the Colts' success while they were 8-2 was the fact that Daniel Jones escaped 17 sacks. If he would have been sacked those 17 times, we probably would have been 6-4. And that's a reality. Just a cold, hard fact reality. It's that simple. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. It makes no sense to me. And I apologize to every Colts fan that's been through this. I really do. You were led on. Most of you had a lot of hope. We were 8-2. We were looking good. Most of you had a ton of hope that this was the year we were going to go back to the playoffs. No, we're not. No, we're not. I said it was a fluke. I said Daniel Jones could win 8, maybe 9 games. He had won 8. The rest of the season, I think he may have gotten 2 wins. Maybe beaten Jacksonville at home. Maybe beaten San Francisco at home. And now it's going to go from 8-2 to 8-9, a 7-game losing streak. I'm sorry, Indianapolis. I really am. I really am. If you guys remember at the trade deadline, I said that the Colts should trade for Russell Wilson in case something happens to Daniel Jones, and look what happened. And I said that I don't know if I can trust the general manager to understand how to operate as a winning team in the offseason, handling the money, handling what you need. The reality is, in this league, you need a backup. When AR went down, you needed to have a backup that you felt you could put in the game right away. And they didn't make a move at the trade deadline. They could have. They could have gotten Russell Wilson for cheap. They could have gotten, I mean, it just, I don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, shoot, you could have made a trade for Jake Browning from the Bengals. I'd take him. The guy throws for 300 yards. Yeah, he'll throw 3 interceptions, but he also throws 3 touchdowns. That at least give us a shot to score. I'm not looking forward to the end of the season for this. I may not even watch Sunday. I mean, I just may watch on my phone, and the minute it becomes 21-0, I'll probably just move on. It's just, I don't know. So I'm sorry. To all the Indianapolis Colts fans, I am. I'm sorry. All right. Hawks Locks for the week. Hawks Locks on a Wednesday. Tomorrow, as soon as I get home, As long as I get home, we're going to go over the fantasy stuff because the fantasy football playoffs, all of them start this week. Actually, when I get off of here, I'm going to go get my tablet. I'm going to go lay in bed, wind down, and I'm going to fix all my fantasy football lineups. Consolation bracket, winner's bracket, I don't care. I am a player through the entire year. I don't give up. Even if draft positioning is on the line, I play till the whistle blows. And that whistle does not blow until after week 17. So therefore, we got 3 weeks of fantasy football playoffs. I'm going to dive into some of those tomorrow when we get rolling. But today we're going to do Hawks Locks. And I was thinking about this week, and I was looking at some of the games, and I'm like, okay. Some of the spreads I really understand, and some of them I absolutely don't. So here's what I'm going to do. Number 1, Hawks Lock. Take it to the bank, regardless of who's starting, whether it's Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers or Brett Rippon. They may throw Brett Rippon in there. I don't know. The Seattle Seahawks are 13.5-point favorites over the Indianapolis Colts. My bet is for a 20-plus point victory. I know it kind of feels like cheating. Listen, just take the over. Just take the free money. Just take the... I will be impressed if the Colts are within 2 touchdowns. If that's the case, it's going to be because the Seattle defense decided to stop playing football in the second half and gave them a bunch of garbage time. Like, that's how I feel this game is going to be. The Jaguars just put up 36. They lost by 17 in that game. Just saying. The Seattle defense is even better. It's over there. It's going to be windy. It's going to be raining. Again, not good. Not good. Now, Seattle could come out, run the ball, shorten the game, just get out of there against an inferior team. Could completely happen. They're still going to beat them by more than 2 touchdowns. So number 1 lock is Seattle at 13.5. I love that. I'm putting it as a 20.5-point bet. Not going to lie. Absolutely love that. All right, the second game is Jacksonville. Jacksonville is 12.5-point favorites against the Jets. Tyrod Taylor looks like he's going to be out, so Brady Cook will be starting for the Jets. Honestly, after last week, I may put this as a 20-point game as well. I think the Jags are feeling themselves. It's supposed to be 71 degrees and sunny. I think they're pumped. I believe their offense is starting to click. Brian Thomas and Jacoby Myers together. Obviously, love those two together. Looks fantastic on the football field. So Jaguars and Jets, 12.5, take the Jags. Take the over with the Jags. Absolutely. 1,000%. And then the third game. Now, this one was hard. This one's harder because you're looking at a lot of games that are relatively close. But in Hawks Locks, I like to take bigger spreads. So it's a bigger risk. So we got two games I can mentally understand what I'm trying to do. And then I got this risky game. Philadelphia 11.5 over the Raiders. Philadelphia just lost to the Chargers in a dome. Part of me thinks they're going to come out and just explode and blow up the Raiders. The other part of me wonders how deep the Eagles' issues run. They're only 8-5, guys. It's not like it's a great year for them. They're 8-5. I said it. I thought Jaden Daniels wouldn't get hurt this year. I was wrong. There is still a way the Cowboys can win that division. I played with it. So let's go to the playoff machine. Because I played around with it a little bit. So let's say the Cowboys beat the Vikings. Okay? Cowboys beat the Vikings. And then in week 16, Cowboys play the Chargers. I think their offense works because they're home. They're home. So I'm going to give the Chargers the win. Or sorry, the Cowboys the win. Next week, Philadelphia is at Washington. Division game, who knows? Week 17, Philly is at Buffalo. It's a loss. That's a straight up loss. The Cowboys are at the Commanders. If now this is just looking at everything the way it is right now. If Philly loses 2 of the next 3 games, so let's say they win this week, lose on the road to the Commanders, lose on the road to the Bills, they would be sitting second in their division. The Cowboys would be 9-6-1 if the Cowboys win over the Vikings, the Chargers, and the Commanders, and the Philadelphia Eagles lose 2 of the next 3. The Eagles will actually be in danger of being out of the playoffs. And it sets up a Week 18 matchup at home against Washington, where I will say they will probably win. At 10-7, they get in the playoffs, maybe. But if the Cowboys run the table all the way out and go 10-6-1, then the Cowboys get in. If the Eagles go 2-2 down the stretch and the Cowboys sweep out, Cowboys win the division. The Eagles would only have 10 wins then. They would be in legitimate danger of missing the playoffs completely. Legitimate danger. Absolute legitimate danger. Nick Sirianni's job is in trouble. I said it at the beginning of the year. I love the team. They're too talented to suck. But evidently not. Sirianni is one of the worst head coaches to win a Super Bowl. I believe he's the worst one to win a Super Bowl. I would never hire him again. I would not hire him no matter who I am. I'm not hiring Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts gets a lot of credit. He is a lot of Russell Wilson. Jalen Hurts is Russell Wilson 2.0. He does show up in big games, but he loses you games you should win. Philadelphia is in trouble. Philadelphia is in trouble. So looking at that Raider and Eagle game, I'm kind of flip-flopped on it. I really am. I'm kind of flip-flopped on it. But I think I'm going to go a different route. I think I'm going to give the Bears a bounce-back game against the Browns. Bears are 7.5-point favorites. Normally I like underdogs. This week I'm going favorites. Browns on the road in Chicago. Supposed to be 9 degrees, really cold. Shedeur Sanders won't be able to play very well. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to play that great either. But I trust Chicago's offensive line. I trust Chicago's defense against Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going to say in 9-degree weather, give it to Chicago. Give it to Chicago. In Cincinnati, it's going to be 15 degrees for the Raven and Bengal game. 15 degrees. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. We are in December. It's going to happen. We are in December. It is going to happen. So this week, for Hawks Locks, we got the Seahawks, 13.5-point favorite. Take it. All day. Jags, 12.5-point favorite over the Jets. Take it. All day. Bears, 7.5 favorite over the Browns. Hit it. Hit it and make some money. That's my plan. That is what I plan to do. All right, guys. Wednesday's down, on to Thursday. Make it the best day you can. Hopefully I get home more than 10 minutes before I go live tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But either way, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Have a fantastic day. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the podcast with a friend. As always, I deeply appreciate it. I'm going to go eat some more breakfast, then go work on my fantasy football lineups, and go to bed. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you in the morning. For Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great day.